What's good? What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. Don't forget that I pre-record my podcast. Video version goes to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, BitChute, Twitch, and Twitter. And the audio version goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much, much more. I'm going to react to a video of the funny and amazing JP explaining why elites are panicking over the movie The Sound of Freedom. Before I do that, though, I want to give you a word from Dizzle brand premium luxury liqueur. Let's get into it.
That dizzle ain't no joke, got me addicted, ain't no coke. Let's just have a toast. Anybody want some small? Cause it's up. I be dizzled up. Catch me sipping with my double cup. Can't just have one, you gotta double up. You pour it, gotta watch it bubble up. I ain't gon' lie, I cannot get enough. When Callie said I need another one, gon' have you coming back for more. But go get it while it's hot, before it be sold out in your stores. That dizzle.
I really mean it. Dizzle is a premium luxury liqueur mixed with agave tequila, cognac, and orange liquor mango mix. Just throw your Dizzle on ice and it's nice. If you want to order your very own bottle or bottles of Dizzle premium luxury liqueur, go to dizzlebrand.com. Click on our locations. Click on one of the top 3 website links. I recommend Emilio's Beverage. Must be 21 and over. Shipping and handling is included. Below that is locations in California, Oklahoma, Kansas, and the number one selling state is Arkansas. Little Rock, stand up. Shouts out Little Rock, Obama. Shouts out to the Skill Breaker Punch. Also, shouts out to Camp Nova. Check out campnovaonline.com and check out dizzlenova.com. Also got the Dizzle gummies, which actually launched today. I had to check the date. They launched officially today, the Dizzle gummies. So check it out, dizzlenova.com and campnovaonline.com and dizzlebrand.com. As you see scrolling below, do you Dizzle. And don't forget, we got the merchandise on the Dizzle brand site as well. Go to merchandise store, or you can go to etsy.com, etsy.com/shop/Dizzle brand, or just search for Dizzle brand on etsy.com. All right, let's get into it. The amazing JP.
Our tracks report. Why are we on the left panicking over the movie The Sound of Freedom and the realities of child trafficking that it exposes? Why are Rolling Stone, The Washington Post, CNN, and other trusted outlets smearing the movie and creating a narrative that is fueled by crazy conspiracy theories? Well, in doing so, we realize it looks like we're trying to convince people that child trafficking isn't a problem at all in order to protect vile predators. And that kind of makes it seem like we have some kind of vested interest in child trafficking, almost like we support it. So tonight we'll be covering our tracks by telling you why Sound of Freedom deserves to be bashed and why we're not guilty of doing what we're actually doing. Starting with the facts. Sound of Freedom is based on the life of Tim Ballard, founder of Operation Underground Railroad that sets up sting operations to rescue children from sex trafficking while putting predators in jail. To date, they've rescued over 7,000 children and helped to make over 6,500 arrests of predators. Pretty impressive statistics considering child trafficking doesn't exist. Now to the movie. Released on the 4th of July, Sound of Freedom has come out of the gate as the #1 movie in the country, beating out Indiana Jones that was backed by a mega budget of $300 million. Sound of Freedom was only backed by a budget of truth, and its success suggests that
I gotta stop. This dude is hilarious. He said, Sound of Freedom was only backed by a budget of truth. Oh my gosh, man. He's hilarious. The cover art tracks report. Let's keep it moving.
that truth spreads and wins based on its own merit. But we believe the truth is worth less than money, and the reality that Sound of Freedom exposes isn't truth you can trust. That's why we're here to feed you lies that you can trust. Now, listen closely because the brainwashing is about to begin. Our working narrative that we're
He said, hold on, I got this dude is hilarious. He said, we're going to feed you lies that you can't trust. And he said, get ready because the brainwashing is about to begin. And it shows a bowl of a brain peel.
aggressively smearing the movie with is that it's based on QAnon-fueled conspiracy theories. Let's hear more. The now definitely not complicit in child trafficking Washington Post called Sound of Freedom a QAnon-adjacent thriller seducing America. Seducing America into what? Not caring about and being willing to stop the heinous abuse of children by the most vile predators on the planet? Yeah, trying to trick Americans into that isn't good for their interests. The Washington Post tries to discredit the film further by discrediting Operation Underground Railroad itself, by proudly stating that Glenn Kessler, the Washington Post fact checker who is yet to find a single fact but keeps trying, found no evidence of Tim Ballard's claim that 10,000 children are smuggled into the US each year for sex trafficking. You're doing God's work, Glenn, and also doing a great job of not finding what you're not looking for.
He said the fact checker is doing a great job by not finding what you're not looking for, meaning you're not checking for facts. And that's the thing. We're in this society now where I mean, I know there's a saying the truth hurts, but now we're in a society where people considering truth as hate. You know, like really, the truth is hateful now. Like being honest is hateful now. I mean, if so, being a scumbag, a lying scumbag, must apparently be a good thing nowadays. Let's keep it moving.
Trusted news outlet also shares that in 2020, Vice News investigated Operation Underground Railroad, and though they found no falsehoods in their rescue claims, they did conclude that they have a pattern of image burnishing and mythology building, a series of exaggerations that are, in the aggregate, quite misleading. Provable facts and experiences are at the top of the list for things that are quite misleading. This just in! Just so you know, Vice News is now owned by George Soros, so feel free to do the math on why they're helping out society by helping protect traffickers. And the Washington Post hits a home run when they say, but the movie has nevertheless been promoted on QAnon message boards, and some accuse it of playing into the movement, which is based on the false belief that a highly organized network of global elites are kidnapping children, having sex with them, and harvesting their blood. Again,
like, you know, what was the name of this guy that was taking people to islands? Jeffrey Epstein? Go figure. Like, this shit probably been going on since the beginning of times, you know, but it's getting worse. The internet has made like the kidney diddlers and pedophilia and sex trafficking and all that skyrocket, man.
This is a false belief. Trust the Washington Post. Nothing like that happens.
It's crazy. So ISIS, when they rolled in and they took advantage and took all the minority religious children, Christian Yazidis, the same thing's happening in Africa, and they're setting up these like baby factories where they'll impregnate women and make the babies just to sell their body parts. One little boy in particular, who that was happening to him, he was kidnapped actually at 4 or 5 years old until he was 12, and they would just slowly suck like the spinal fluid, and they would sell it. This is a witch doctory kind of satanic ritual stuff where they sell the blood, and people like drink it and think they're being empowered, and it's a real thing. And this kid had lost all use of by the time he was 11 years old, he looked like he was 7, and he couldn't use his limbs. And we were able to get him to a doctor in Salt Lake at the Children's Shriners Hospital.
Again, completely false belief according to the Washington Post. And we'd like to thank the Washington Post for speaking out against people who are speaking out, let alone rescuing children who are being trafficked and having their blood harvested. Because after all, blood harvesting isn't a problem, but people raising awareness about it is a problem. And luckily, we're here to help eliminate that problem. Next up, Rolling Stone.
You know, if you just like get online and create content every day, and I guarantee every day, if you wanted to, you could find an hypocrisy and a double standard to react to. Like, he just showed out the hypocrisy when, blood harvested. He just showed a pack of blood, like, that's not harvested blood. Get the fuck out of here.
Stone got on board the being willing to appear to be protecting child predators train in order to do God's work of silencing dangerous misinformation that wouldn't be dangerous even if it was misinformation. According to Rolling Stone, Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. And in their own subtitle, they say, the QAnon-tinged thriller about child trafficking is designed to appeal to the conscience of a conspiracy-addled boomer. They go on to call the film a call to action in an imagined global war against sexual predators. Now, we can't stress enough how much Rolling Stone wants you to believe that child trafficking is just something imagined. And it's awfully good of them to put so much effort into trying to get you to believe so, isn't it? And just something to preferably not think about, outlets like Washington Post and Rolling Stone had fiercely labeled what are now provably true facts as conspiracies, like Hunter Biden's laptop, the lab leak, and side effects. And also don't consider that now that those occurrences have proven to be true,
you see how he just had to say side effects. He didn't say what the side effects from, but you can put 2 and 2 together and get 4, and common sense and common knowledge will prevail. You know what he's talking about.
these outlets are still calling them conspiracy theories. So you should have plenty of confidence in trusting them when they label another provably true phenomenon, child trafficking, as a conspiracy theory. And if you don't trust them, then you must have brainworms or something. Does ivermectin work against brainworms? What's Mel Gibson have to say?
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. Go see Sound of Freedom.
Correction, Mel Gibson. The most disturbing problem in our world today is awareness about trafficking, and we must eradicate awareness. And
that's crazy, and they're trying to do that. They're trying to eradicate so much shit. Telling the truth. What's a woman? What's a man? Sex, gender. Yeah, man. Like, it's crazy. Like, why would anybody, and that's the thing. Even if it was a movie and it wasn't totally true, why are they pushing back on the movie so hard? Like, we know even movies like that Michael Jordan Air movie, there was a couple details in there that wasn't exactly down to the very detail. You know what I'm saying? We know sometimes movies just throw a little embellishment in or a little just something in to just have to fit the script and whatnot. But the fact that they will push back on this movie so much, like, nobody's trafficking kids across this planet. I mean, have we not seen the Taken movie before? Have we not seen the Taken movie? Was she not a teenager? Is that not a kid? Was she not paying her own rent and bills? No, she wasn't. You know, yeah, this idea that anybody will push back on this movie like it's a false narrative. What's a false narrative? Trafficking kids, or how many kids are being trafficked? Because I mean, you know, that shouldn't even matter. Because trafficking any kids is really not cool at all, man. It's a no-no.
We'd like to thank CNN, Washington Post, and Rolling Stone for their efforts to eradicate awareness about trafficking. We see you and will never forget what you're doing. In conclusion, why is the left panicking over the reality that Sound of Freedom exposes? Well, we'll let you decide with this multiple choice quiz. A, climate change is causing them to do it. B, they want to create a safe space for dangerous people.
Wow.
Or C, they're scum who are protecting predators. Weird that 83% of people...
You know what? Hold up. Let me blow this up some. I think I would actually go with all the above. Um, yeah, so he actually he actually did a poll for this, and 8% actually said climate change is causing them to do it. They want to create a safe space for dangerous people. Um, that's why, you know what? I'm gonna go with all the above.
So far think it's because they're scum who are protecting predators. I don't know what that's about. That's it for our special Cover Our Tracks report, so you don't think any further into why we on the left are bashing Sound of Freedom and so desperately trying to discount its message. The truth shall set you free, so we'll continue trying to hide the truth from you so you won't be free. Because we care about you. Trust us. Good night.
Yo, you see, I mean, like, did y'all see? Check out his suit. His suit was like torn to shreds. He's one of the funniest dudes on the net, but he talks about serious things and he says it in a funny manner. And like, I'm with him 1,000%. I mean, he was being so sarcastic on this. The cover your tracks news report. We want to thank Washington Post and CNN and everybody else for trying to abolish awareness. Yeah, man. The idea that anybody will push back on this movie is really head scratching. It makes me question the character of any human being that pushing back on this movie, like calling it a false narrative. Like what I said, what's false about it? That people are trafficking kids in the first place, or how many kids are being trafficked? They're trying to say it ain't 10,000 in the U.S. Just 10,000 people coming in the U.S. as adults. Why can't it be 10,000 kids being trafficked in the U.S. too? Anybody thinks otherwise is, got a pea size of a fucking brain, as far as I'm concerned. A lack of common sense and common knowledge of what's really fucking going on, man. Yeah, and I do want to. I don't know, man. Yeah, I do want to check out Sounds of Freedom, but like I've heard everybody say it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. I've heard everybody say that they watched the movie, cry like multiple times. And I'm not gonna front, man. Like Glory is one of my favorite movies of all time with Denzel Washington. And what first time I watched that movie when he got whipped for trying to go find a pair of shoes. I cried. Like right when the tears started coming out, I cried, and then I cried at the end of the movie when everybody got killed. Cause that was like the first movie where the heroes, quote unquote, died at the end. First movie. And I guess that's why it was the first movie I ever probably cried on. And so, like, cause I'm a human being. I got a heart. I care about people, but I really only care about people who care about me. You know, I don't really care like anybody who just doesn't have any care about my life. Yeah, I don't. Feelings mutual, you know. But you know, I do care about people. Just I only care about people that would reciprocate the care, because caring and loving people is like it's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. You know. But yeah, man. The amazing JP, follow that guy, man. He is hilarious, and he always got serious topics that he's going over, and he just does it in a funny and entertaining manner. Once again, thank you for tuning in, Paul Pickett Podcast, and I'm out.